for mayor and council for Wednesday, March the 11th, 2026. If you would all rise for the Lord's Prayer.
Let us repeat the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and unfortunately, Councilwoman Johnson is representing us at the Tri-County Council tonight, so she won't be here with us. But we do have everyone else present, and we will move on with our agenda as quickly as we can. We'll start with our minutes.
Mayor, I move that for exception, a set of minutes that dated February 25th, 2016 of this year. Mayor and council regular session. I move that we accept these minutes as written. If there be any corrections, let us do so at this time.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Motion carried. Thank you very much. We have guests tonight. We are very excited. We have Ms. Amanda Pollock, who is from the Center for Watershed Protection, and they have been phenomenal in their support of the city and the many projects that we have out there. Could not have gotten this far without you guys. We have a lot of projects that are ongoing. You guys may have seen that last time. And so it was really important that we are able to have some other folks lead that for us. And so one of the things that we did when we had the ARPA funding was to secure some technical assistance for some of these projects to keep them moving. And the Center for Watershed Protection has been fantastic in helping us continue to move these projects along. And tonight, they work closely with Jennifer, and tonight they're going to review some of those projects for us and where they are with those.
Yep.
So thank you so much, Amanda, for being here.
All right, well, good evening, everyone, and thanks for having me tonight.
Thank you.
So if you'll go to the next slide. So I'm just gonna give a little bit of an overview of the technical assistance that we're providing, and on some projects, we're providing project management and grant management. So for the most part, we start with the project planning. We may help to write a request for proposals to hire a design firm or a contractor. We'd run that process and answer any questions that they may have, and essentially, help the city select the vendors to work with.
You guys have done that already.
Yeah, so we've been doing that. Yeah, so I guess we've been doing this work for about a year. We
Yes.
started last January. We also help Jen and her team with grant writing, so we're just providing assistance on technical components and helping to provide budget estimates. And then on some projects, we're doing the whole project management and grant management, where we would then interface with the funding agency and make sure the projects are being accomplished. So, next slide. So today, I'm just gonna touch on a couple of project highlights. First, we're gonna talk about two projects where we are providing the project management and grant management, the city dock and lead service lines. And then I'll touch on, very briefly, two projects where we're providing technical assistance. Okay, so next slide. So the city dock replacement project, as you know, part of the dock, the southeast pier has already been replaced, and the city has funding to do replacements of the entire city dock as well as the other piers. Part of this replacement project is that the dock will be raised to help with, changes in the level of the sea level. So the main dock will be raised by about 18 inches in height, and the piers, the northwest pier and the central pier, will each be raised about 12 inches, which is what occurred with the southeast pier replacement as well. So next slide. So a big part of this project is coordinating with the federal agencies. So this project received money from the United States Maritime Administration, a little bit over $2 million. And so there's a lot of federal requirements that come with getting federal funding. So, the city hired, last year we put out a request for proposal and we hired a design team. The design engineer is George Miles and Buer, or GMB, and they hired a company called Strawn Environmental to help with all this permitting. So part of what we do is as they submit plans or permit applications, we review those and then we coordinate with MARAD, the federal agencies. And we have a standing monthly meeting with MARAD just to touch base with them because it is a very cumbersome project when you have federal funding.
Absolutely, and before you go, I did just want to mention, it is federal funding. It's actually the first earmark that we actually have gotten an opportunity to start seeing the funding for and how that process goes. So getting through that process and understanding that, CWP has been very helpful with us for this earmark.
And it's wonderful to get an earmark, but the thing that a lot of people don't know is it still comes with all the rules and regulations
Absolutely.
that any other federal grant would come with. Yeah, Jen can attest to
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
So part of that is just managing that process. So the GMB and Strawn team has made a lot of submittals to the federal agencies, including there's historic preservation review, endangered species, Civil Rights Act, and one of the longest processes is the environmental permitting. So they have made all those submittals. And so right now the design is about at a 30% design, which is still pretty early, but part of the reason is because they want to get all the information back from the federal agencies before they get too far along. So as they make submittals, we'll review those for the technical review and making sure they've met all the requirements. So right now, all those are in process, the design engineer's moving towards 60%. I just wanted to show quickly the funding sources. So for this project, you have about $2.3 million, of which $2 million is from the Maritime Administration, and then Maryland Department of Natural Resources Waterway Improvement Fund provided almost $310,000. And then Maryland Department of Emergency Management provided about $250,000 of a loan to be used as match. So that's the whole funding picture. So this project is moving along. I know it's slow going. And part of why it's slow is just all the requirements. So we just want to give you this update on this.
And it's a learning process for us, but we have multiple funding sources, and that
Yes.
makes the project even more complicated. It's not just one funding source, but it's all of the ones that we see up here, that we have to make sure that all those pieces come together. I think that's been a bit of a challenge, so.
Totally agree. And Maryland's been great to work with, but it's just they have a process. So-
Absolutely.
So we're going through.
And we're learning it, absolutely. So thank you.
Yeah, of course. The next project that we're providing.
And I do apologize, I'm gonna stop you again for one quick second.
Anytime.
Do we have an estimate completion on the project?
So right now, I believe it's probably going to be in 2027.
Okay.
Only because of how long all these approvals are taking. And I think we'll have restrictions on when they can do the construction based on what is occurring in the water. So I don't have a great date yet, but I'll be kind of surprised if it was completed this year, only because of where we are with the review process and how long it's been taking. So I'm gonna say 2027, and we're trying to get a better estimate, but I'm thinking next year.
Okay.
So I know this is coordinating with what you wanna do with the event venue there.
Absolutely.
So we still have time for
Okay.
that process to be done.
Good,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thanks. All right, so the next project I wanted to touch on real quick that we're providing overall management on is the lead service line inventory and mapping. And so there's requirements through the federal government called the lead and copper rule, where you need to identify the materials of all water services in the city. And the city complied with the requirements that were due a couple of years ago. It was like in October of 2024, they had to make an initial submittal. And now you've received funding from Maryland Department of the Environment, I think of $85,000, to do further investigations. Because some of the records, it's just an older water system, and a lot of the records are incomplete, so we don't necessarily know yet what all the water services are. So this funding will go into helping to complete that inventory and map it out, to actually have digital maps that show what types of water services. So essentially, we're required to classify water services as either lead, as galvanized, as non-lead, or as lead status unknown. So we're looking to hire a company to help do this inventory, to help us identify that.
So that's the boots on the ground though, right?
That is.
That's what, versus what we initially did, which was just a guess,
A
pretty
paper,
much.
it was
Pen
kind
and
of a
paper
paper
exercise.
exercise.
Okay.
Yeah, so now you'll still see some outreach, and this company will send letters and surveys to all the residents and property owners to get more information from you, but then this will actually have some field investigation.
Okay,
So no one's gonna be digging in anyone's yard until there's a lot more discussions, but they may dig some test holes to look at water services, but we are months away from that. Yeah, if you go to the next slide. So, again, we're just providing that overall project management and helped write the request for proposals to hire the company. So we just opened those bids a few weeks ago, and actually on Friday, we'll be having our meeting with city staff to review the bids. So the way this goes from here is, you know, if we can come to terms and have a recommendation of award, that will be presented to you all potentially at your next meeting. And then because this is funding through Maryland Department of the Environment, they review all the bids and the whole procurement process, how we selected firms, and then they take that for approval to the Maryland Board of Public Works. So that takes some time, because the Board of Public Works meets twice a month, and it takes a little while to get on their agendas, so there's gonna be a little bit of waiting time until we have someone under contract. But once they're under contract, we would have a kickoff meeting and really talk to them about what kind of outreach they're going to do, how they'll pursue that. So there will be a lot more updates once we have someone under contract.
okay, so you guys are gonna get together and the recommendation that gets made to, MDE, does that get made before or after you make the recommendation to council?
So it goes to you first. So
Okay.
your award would be made contingent upon their
MDE's
funding,
approval.
their approval, exactly.
Okay.
Because they want to make sure that they don't approve it and then for some reason
We
you all
don't,
do
right.
it. So they want
Okay.
your approval first contingent upon them approving it.
Okay.
So you won't actually sign the contract until
Okay.
they have approved it.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's coming soon. So this is this is a project you're required to do to comply with federal requirements, and it's fortunate that you were able to get some funding from the state to help with that one.
And there's a deadline, I think, that all this is supposed to be done. Do you remember what that
It's like-
was?
Yeah, go ahead,
It's like
Jen.
5 years from the
So we have
October
time.
2024 to be, I
Yes.
think.
So we have a few more years to make sure that we've got, it's a big process to try to figure out all those lead lines and get them replaced. I mean,
It
I
is.
just, I can't imagine. I'm assuming there's a lot of those, in Chrisfield,
Yes.
probably a whole lot.
And this will really set you up then to be able to apply for money to help with those replacements. So this
Yeah,
is still just
yeah.
mapping it all and making
Gotcha.
sure you understand. And really, they'll start looking at the age of homes and identifying, okay, these are newer, they won't have lead, these are older, we're gonna focus here. So they'll systematically go through it,
They'll
but
be able to figure it out.
once we're done with this, then you can really apply for more money to start replacing those lines.
Fantastic.
Okay, great. Next slide. Okay, so these next couple are where we're just providing technical assistance, helping out Jen and her team. So I wanted to just touch briefly on the Southern Chrisfield Flood Mitigation Plan because it's very exciting that we have that first request for proposals that's advertised right now. So right now, engineering firms are finalizing their bids. This first phase that's been advertised is for the 30% design of that entire southern flood mitigation project, and then to also design in full the Gerald's Ditch wetland area. And so this is a substantial, a very large contract that'll be many years. So we've helped provide some mapping assistance and answering questions during the bidding. But as you all know, this was part of the project that was going to be funded through the BRIC funds. So now it's been broken into smaller pieces and bid as separate pieces. So our bid opening is this Friday, Friday at
Okay.
4 o'clock
Oh,
is
really?
when bids are due. Yes.
Okay.
So very excited to see how many we get and who we get, and so then a selection committee will start to review these proposals. So we will hopefully be back to you in April at one of your April meetings with a recommendation. This will follow a similar process where it needs to go to MDE for review. There's funding sources, I think 5 or so funding sources with this one, so even
Okay.
more. So there's a lot of agencies that will review it. And one thing I wanted to note is when we put this out for bid, it was really to focus on the southern portion.
Right.
But then, after some discussions, we put in an addendum to allow, the city to hire the same engineering firm to look at the northern portion when funding becomes available. And part of that was just to try to have consistency, so it's the same person working on the whole flood mitigation plan project.
Makes sense.
All right, and then the last one, real quick. So, the last project we've been helping on recently is the Main Street Revitalization and the Resiliency Business Incubator Project, which is the revitalization of 382 West Main Street. So that is the building that will be kind of the anchor for the incubator. And so this has recently been awarded to Dynamic General Contracting, and you have a grant from the National Park Service Historic Preservation Fund. And so there's been, it took a little bit of time to get through all of, again, their requirements. And so now we have a pre-construction meeting next Tuesday on the 17th. So we'll be able to then talk to that contractor about their schedule, when they propose to do the work, how long it's gonna take, and really start to get details from them. So that one, this is the first one that'll go to construction of all these projects.
But we gotta be clear, because it's really not the business incubator itself.
Oh, no.
This is the roof.
This is the roof.
So yeah,
You're
this
absolutely
is
right.
this is
Yes,
just the roof.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah. So
that
you-
needs to be replaced.
Yeah, we're not about to see the incubator
Right,
either, but
right,
we've gotta
right.
get the roof fixed first, so that's what this
This
one is.
this one is only for the roof, and then we have to work towards a design. I think we have money in there to put out for a design for the business incubator as well. But this is to get the roof started, and this was another earmark.
Yes.
So this is another reason that we went through that entire lengthy process of figuring out how do we access the funds once they were awarded. So.
Is that meeting scheduled here in the city?
It is, I believe actually this is a virtual meeting,
A
so it's,
virtual,
yeah,
all right.
yeah, cause they're, at this point, we need to make sure we have all their bonds and just kinda get all the paperwork scheduled, so it's not up on the roof or anything this time, but there will be, progress meetings where we look at their work at some point.
Fantastic.
And that was all the projects I was gonna highlight tonight. I'm happy to answer any other questions, but thanks for having me.
Thank
Mary
you.
Kay, could I just say something about
Yeah,
that?
sure.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to say how wonderful it has been to work with Center for Watershed Protection. Frequently one of our challenge is we can't ask for advance assistance from any engineering firms that might be
Who's gonna
bidding.
bid? Yeah. Mhm.
So we have had this highly qualified engineering firm to assist us, and one of the things that has resulted is, in the past, I was doing a request for proposals, and I am not an engineer, so that would result in addendums where the engineers asked questions and I had to answer them. So the whole proposal process is way smoother with an engineer on
good,
board
good,
helping to
good.
create that, and their technical support for providing maps and just technical information that wouldn't be easily accessible has been fantastic and very timely.
Thank you.
And thank you. And I know you guys have a standard meeting that you guys meet
We do.
anyways, like every 2 weeks or something. Yeah, you guys meet bi-weekly
Yes.
to make sure that projects are moving. So I want to thank you for everything and give council an opportunity to ask questions.
No questions, just thank you for all the work you're doing to help us. A lot of these projects are huge projects, and we know that capacity of the city is limited, so we really appreciate it.
Nothing, Matrix, thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Langford?
Yep, thank you for all the help that you're giving us.
Fantastic. And Amanda's local.
Yes.
A big part of her firm is across the bridge,
Yep.
right? Because Alexandria helps us a lot. I'm not sure who else it is, but I know her well because
Yes.
she attends all the meetings, but she is across the bridge.
Exactly.
And Amanda is local, so she was able to come in today, and we thank you for being able to do that. All right, thanks again. Okay, so we've got some more good news and good things that are happening. We got more visitors today. Ms. Floyd is here with us, Ms. Jennifer, and she's going to talk to us about motorcycle safety bill that she has been working on and why it's near and dear to her heart, and what it means, what it will mean for the community and the state at large. Thank you. You want to introduce yourself?
Yes,
Thank you. I know it's hard. It's difficult. It's difficult, but something good is coming out of something tragic. And so we thank you for being willing to share that. We understand that that's difficult, but you put a lot into this, and it has borne wonderful fruit. So just keep that at heart as you go through it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer Floyd. And thanks, Mayor Taylor, for inviting me here. I have Senator, Maryland State Senator Nick Charles sponsoring a bill, SB 0068, called the D-Torch Road Safety Act for Motorcycle Safety Awareness. My son was Donnell Torch. The motorcycle community called him Torch. Floyd Jr., he was killed in a motorcycle crash on September the 10th, 2024. Someone was making a left-hand turn at an intersection, and they didn't see my son coming, and my son doesn't even know he didn't make it home. Though I advocate for my son through the D-Torch Foundation, it's hard. I stand up before people, and I stood up before the Senate in Annapolis because it means something. I can't bring my son back home, but some of you in this room may know motorcycle riders. And every motorcycle rider, whether it's on law enforcement, I'm partnering with the Sheriff Department up in Prince George's County to do a mental health event for motorcycle riders. Maybe not by blood, but they're still family when you lose, when a rider goes down. So I'm trying to turn my tragedy into something of purpose. And so I created the legislation. Senator Nick Charles agreed to sponsor it for me. It's the driver's license, driver's skills examination. And so we were allowed to amend it and call it the D-Torch Road Safety Act. And they changed it to whereas the Maryland General Assembly honors the life and legacy of Donnell Torch Floyd Jr., the legislation recognizes Torch's legacy while advancing motorcycle safety awareness for drivers across Maryland. Again, I can't bring my son back home, but maybe I can get other riders back home to their families safely. And so what does SB 0068 does? It requires motorcycle awareness safety questions to go into Maryland's motor vehicle exams. So now we want to get the driver at the beginning, right? Because it's very important for riders and drivers to share the road. So we're trying to bridge the gap between the two to make sure that everyone knows we have to share the road. And so we want to educate drivers at the beginning. Visibility of motorcycles, proper lane positioning, safe following distance. How many of you have seen motorcycle cars driving right up behind a motorcycle rider or clipping them off real quick? We did a memorial ride for my son last September, and people in the cars were calling me saying, "Did you see that car? They're not respecting the motorcycle riders." I knew nothing about road captains at the time, but these road captains were doing an amazing job, and the cars were being disrespectful. And all they were doing was just trying to keep everybody in formation, in one lane. This is what we went to the Senate with, or to Annapolis with, saying, hey, we got to do better. We have to do better because all riders are someone's loved one. It's somebody's mother, father, sister, brother, son, daughter. And everybody deserves to get back home. And when a rider goes down, the person in the car, I've learned a lot in the last year and a half. They say they're in a cage, right? The person in the cage is going to be okay. But that rider, when the rider goes down, like my son, they don't get back up. They don't get back up. And so we want to protect our riders. We want to make the roads safer for everyone, but for the riders, we have to share the road. So how can you support? And I want to thank Mayor Taylor, she wrote written testimony, when we went, for the hearing, last month. She submitted written testimony. A lot of people submitted written testimony. I actually went up and spoke. We have a petition, if you go to, our website, www.dtorchfoundation.org. For those of you online, www.dtorchfoundation.org. You can sign the petition. You can follow us on social media. I have DTorch Foundation Facebook page and Instagram page. It's only talking about motorcycle awareness things. I talk about my son too, because it is his foundation. I met a young man and I posted it on the page because everyone needs to see. People may not realize. I met him in the store. He was helping me. And as I usually do any of you know any motorcycle riders, I'll ask the question. And the young man, bless your heart, and you're a veteran. Thank you for your service. And I asked, do you know anybody? Which led to, he said, I used to ride. I don't ride anymore. He said, because he was in a crash. He started showing me all of his scars. I said, but at least you're still here. And he said, he showed me a video, in case you don't believe me. I said, I believe you. And he showed me a video, it was blood all over in the emergency room, just blood. I said, wow, you're still here. And then he told me how his mom felt, and didn't want him to ride anymore. And I said, can I give you a hug? In the middle of the store. He said, yes. I gave him a hug and I broke. Because in that moment, I felt like I was hugging my son. One more time. And so I shared that because people need to know. And I told the young man, I said, you're looking at your mother. Because in that moment, he saw a mother's pain. And so, where is SB 0068 right now? It passed the Senate committee unanimously. It passed the full Senate unanimously. They made a tweak, but it's still a win, right? It's still a win. So, I don't know how many of you know, for the motor vehicle exam in Maryland, there's like 125 questions that they go through. There were only 3 motorcycle questions in that 120, right? And each person takes an exam of 25 questions. And so if you mix all those random questions,
You might not.
how likely will you get a motorcycle
That's a
question?
good point. Yep, absolutely.
Not many.
That's
So they increased it to 5 questions,
Okay.
but they're gonna make it mandatory that at least one motorcycle question ends up on the test.
Okay.
And so what you have to do, you have to learn about all 5 of the questions because you don't know which one.
Good.
And then, how many of you remember, and I'm dating myself a little bit here, but I remember when I took my driver's exam, you gotta look in the rearview mirror. The side mirror for your blind spot. The 3D turn thing stay 2 car lengths behind a car. Well, if we have to stay 2 car lengths behind a car, why shouldn't that be the rule for a motorcycle rider? It just makes sense to me, right? So these young people will get it early, or anybody who decides to get their license, and then maybe over time, not overnight, but maybe over time, we can see a change. I believe Governor Westmore's office, they just put something out, it was last month, I should have bought it, there was a reduction in motorcycle accidents in the state of Maryland. Some of you might have seen that, and it was through education and awareness. And so I said SB 0068 can pick up where they left off and keep educating people and keep bringing those numbers down. Because as I told them in Annapolis, one life is one too many, especially if it's your loved one. One life is one too many. And so Again, we're one step closer to safer roads. We're waiting for, a committee to be identified in the House. If it passes the House, I say if, people say when, it's gonna pass, it's gonna pass.
Absolutely.
It goes to the governor for signature. And so people have told me we've, come over a lot of hurdles. And so now we just need to, cross over one more. So education is key. But I like to say the execution of learned behavior is what actually save lives. You can educate people, but if they don't put it into practice, it's for naught. So, accountability, getting riders home. So I plan on with the foundation to come up with more legislation, for motorcycle riders, which in effect will make the roads safer for everyone, the riders and the drivers. So keep praying for us, keep sharing. Again, you can follow us on D Torch Foundation, on our Facebook and our Instagram, and stay engaged. If you want to go on and sign the petition at www.torchfoundation.org, you can sign the petition, because we don't know what will make a difference and what will not when we get to the House.
And we can put that on our Facebook page, so Fabian, you're back there,
I'm
so.
looking for it right now.
Yeah, so she'll make sure that we post it on our page too, so that
Okay.
people can go out there and find it and be able to sign the petition.
Yes, yes,
We'll
that would be
definitely be
great.
trying
That would
to
be great.
promote it as much as possible.
That would be great.
One of the things that I realize is that, I'm just ignorant of, how we should share the road with motorcycles. When we sit motorcycles, we always tense up, we're always nervous, we're, not sure. So I think having education is huge. I don't know how to share the road with a motorcycle, I just try to stay back or try to whatever, because I never know, what direction it's gonna go. So I think this is a big deal, and I appreciate all that you put into it. We understand, what it means to you, and what it will mean for so many more, just like you said.
And I know we have
what's important.
motorcycles here in
So thank you.
Chrisfield. I heard them last summer. And, I'll never forget, my son rode his motorcycle down here, when we first moved down here.
Yeah.
He rode his motorcycle down here and I could hear him coming. I could hear him coming.
Right.
And so, when I hear the motorcycles, I hear them coming.
Absolutely.
And so God bless you all.
Thank you. I want to see if the council has any questions.
No questions. Look, I wish you the best with this. I'm so sorry you had to go through losing a child. I can't imagine what that's like, genuinely. But, I'm willing to support this in any way that I can. I'll definitely go on the organization's website and fill it out. This is huge, Thinking back to when I took driver's ed, which wasn't too long ago, but it is kind of long. I'm gonna say I don't remember any motorcycle questions, and I don't remember any questions that I had to answer. So it is surprising that it's taken this long. And it's something tragic for this to happen. But no, thank you for what you're doing.
Absolutely. Vice Counsel?
Yes, my condolences to you. Very sorry that this has happened. And, but I did have a question, and I'm always thinking outside of the box. The education for the driver. I see that, we're gonna make some changes when they're taking the test, the new driver to become. But the education for the driver, and I don't know if you guys, the committee, you guys have worked on anything, but maybe at this point, being it's gonna probably, I'm sure it's gonna pass the House, there can be a State of the Maryland Motorcycle Safety Awareness Day. Because the people that drive already, we're aware, maybe a
We
week.
won't see it. Yeah, no, you're right.
Maybe a week, and then the local municipal governments can be sponsoring something in their West End to bring that awareness.
Well, I tell you, May is Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month.
Oh, okay.
May,
So there is
May
there's
is
some time.
Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month.
Okay,
And so that's, we're gonna do the mental health thing in May.
okay,
We're doing a gala in May.
okay.
But I'm trying to see, because you're correct. It has to be more than think twice, save a life. Some of you have seen look twice, save a life, right? You see that. But what else?
Right.
I mean, if you're driving down the highway and you don't see look twice, save a life, then you missed it. And so I'm trying, to your point,
Increase that
Councilmember
awareness.
Banks, see what else you can do, we can do in the county, in the state, in the city of Pittsfield, get excited.
Absolutely.
To bring awareness in the month of May, if no other month, in the month of May, to share the awareness.
Sure. I think that's important to try to get that education to
Everybody,
the
right.
existing driver,
That's a
Exactly,
good point.
yeah,
exactly.
some kind of way. I mean, because when you say motorcycle, and I'm glad to know that, but when you say motorcycle awareness month, okay, hear that, and then, but what does it mean?
What
are you
does it
doing?
mean?
What are you doing in that side of that
Exactly,
month? you know?
exactly.
Yeah. So I think from, like the city here, the chief could probably sponsor something and, hey, bring people out for an evening. Give them a hot dog, right, chief? They always come for hot dogs and chips. And just educate the people, look, the motorcycles are on the road, the summer's coming, spring's coming, and, we need to share the road with them. So, yeah, I agree with you.
Absolutely, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Patel?
Sorry for your loss. I do have a motorcycle. I haven't ridden in a couple of years, but my mom faced same way, the safety. And it's just on a other note, when city puts out or state tells people when you cut the grass, make sure it's not
That's
on the
right.
road.
That's right.
People does not realize when those motorcycles are going 60, 50,
Thank you.
whatever miles, all it takes is just a little bit slip and it's not, but there are some rules that people are not aware, so like things like that probably can make them aware with this. Because once you take the exam, they never see it again. So I don't even know if state or somewhere they need to do it every so often, have more signs, something, but those things are really helpful.
You're absolutely correct. I actually posted a graphic on his Facebook page with grass cutting, the grass on the road and the motorcycle, because for a motorcycle, that's like black ice. And they can lose their life.
Yep.
They can lose their life. So good point, thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Langford?
Yeah, and first of all, let me just say I'm sorry for the loss of your son. I was a motorcycle rider, still am, really. I was also a motorcycle policeman. So I saw many accidents involving motorcycle riders, and I've seen drivers driving that basically ignored motorcycles on the roadway. So I am happy that you put this bill in motion. I will give my support in any way that I can, and I wish you the best of luck with this bill and everything else. And again, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Floyd. We definitely appreciate you coming in and educating us, and so we can help to educate our community as well.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Absolutely. Thank you. Oh. Right beside the Charlotte. Right beside her. Oh, good. We still have more good things coming. Yes, Mrs. Mango, absolutely. So we're gonna talk about the Chrisfield Neighborhood Watch. And I know you guys are interested in getting the blessing of the mayor and council, so that would require a vote, and we do have a quorum, so we would be able to do that, but we'll give you the floor.
Those treats for you guys, spring treats.
Again.
Something you need. I'd like to introduce our council for
Okay.
Neighborhood Watch. I'm the president. Stand up, George. This is George Ridley.
Really?
This is Myra, his wife. Secretary.
Her, honestly, okay.
Mark Langle, my husband. He is
Yes.
security, help out at different events.
Fantastic.
Nelson Shepherd.
I didn't know
He's
Nelson
also-
was on there, fantastic.
Yeah,
Good,
yeah.
good, thank you. Okay, good.
And we have Sue. Sue,
Oh,
stand up.
good.
Sue Ranson is gonna do media.
Oh, wow.
Hopefully, yeah. Something.
Thank
And we also work with Chief
Yeah.
Lee.
Okay, good,
And we
good,
work
good.
with you too.
Yes,
Yeah, the city
absolutely.
council. We'd like your blessing as we go forward. As a group, we've done the mission statement, we've done the bylaws, and we have a big event we're trying to put together for an auction. That's not in there.
Okay,
It's still formatted it, and that's to raise some funds. I have to do the, what is it, the 501c?
Yeah.
And then I have to do another paper, I have it all at home. Myra and I will get together and do that, tax ID, and then we'll move forward with incorporation for nonprofit, whatever we have to do. But we're working, we're going towards the goals. And the fundraising will be for those signs.
Okay, that will
Yeah.
be in the neighborhoods,
Yeah.
that will be placed in the neighborhoods, so that's the first fundraiser that you're gonna be doing.
Yeah, working towards
Okay.
that, and if we get any funding also, that'll help. But anything else as we go forward, council sees it, or our city sees it, or police or something, that we need, we can work towards that too, and helping out and fundraising.
And so I think, I just need to make sure I understand, so Andrew's here, he's gonna help me with this piece, because technically, you're not a committee of the city.
Okay,
But, I mean, the city supports what you're doing, so, I don't know how that actually works, because you don't wanna be a committee of the city, because you gotta have open meetings and take notes and do all this kind of stuff, so tell me, open it to council for their thoughts, but Andrew, tell me what your thoughts are.
We could do a resolution at a future meeting
That would-
supporting it.
Okay,
And, you know, whatever the city's gonna offer, if anything, in far as resources or assistance or, you know, just more like a proclamation
Okay.
than a actual arm of the city, because as you mentioned, once they're an arm of the city, they have to comply with open meetings laws, and it's a lot more
Yeah.
complicated.
yeah, so, and I mean, what we're offering is a collaboration with the department, you know, from that standpoint. I don't know what else we're doing, but definitely, we would be supporting through the police department. And I don't know, I want council to kind of weigh in here and see what their thoughts are.
Well, if I heard it correctly, their goal is to establish a 501(c)(3). So that kind of like puts them,
Takes that out
you
anyway,
know, as a
yeah, that's
nonprofit
true.
or whatever. And of course, yeah, the resolution should just say that we're there as a collaboration, and I'm sure they're gonna report to us, you know.
we will.
So it would be a resolution supporting the Neighborhood Watch organization, is that how it would read, Andrew?
It can be that, it could be a proclamation.
A
like you've done
proclamation
for
even, okay.
Other ones, we can work through that, but that's really,
Okay,
whichever one.
that would be like a blessing versus us, we can't vote to approve you to be established, because as Councilman, Vice Council just reminded me, you're really a 501(c)(3) in your own right, or you will be, which is good, but you definitely have our full support. Any
No,
thoughts?
I mean, just reading through the bylaws proposed here, just making sure that the Thursday at 6 PM here at the Corbin doesn't interfere with any other,
That's scheduled,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's scheduled from our end, and then, you know, making sure that there would be some type of agreement, I guess, with the city, that we would keep the building open and, you know, things for that night
Right.
would make sense too, with the resolution.
yes, absolutely, yeah,
But just knowing that to go forward.
So we're offering them a place to meet as well as a collaboration with it, and that's a good point. But understanding that if there's something that it conflicts with, you may have to change your meeting
Yeah,
night or
yeah,
place.
we can change, yeah.
Yeah, the meeting date can also be changed due to an emergency or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Yeah, Councilman Patel?
Just like Mayor said, because in your bylaws, there is one thing, it says meeting will not be open to the public. So if city,
Oh, no, not, the meetings will be open to the public. Yeah, they are, I think, is that a typo?
It says in the event of a board of directors meeting,
Oh,
the meeting will not be open to the
Yeah,
public,
it's just the
so.
board, yeah.
yeah, so that,
Yeah, they're
that
talking about things
city,
that, yeah,
so city can't be really partnered in a way, so we probably will have to do one of the other two things.
okay.
So all meetings are open to the public, the regular meetings are open to the public, but you're saying a specific board of directors meeting would not be open to the public?
Well, yeah,
If
they're like
there
going to
was
finances and
Something
things like that,
sensitive
yeah,
that you needed to talk about?
exactly.
Okay, you guys will have to work that out, but yeah,
Mhm.
definitely need to make sure. That what we're covering is a place for you guys to meet, I think that's gonna be the biggest thing.
Yes, we appreciate that.
Okay. Councilman, Langford, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't have the bylaws in front of me, so I'm gonna just yield to the council, but I do support Neighborhood Watch in any way that I can.
Thank you, sir.
And we will, yeah, he's former police too, so, so it definitely supports. We'll, Councilman, we'll make sure that your copy of her folder is at the, front desk, so that when you come in, you can pick it
All
up.
right, thank you.
Sure.
So we'll work out the proclamation or resolution ready for the next meeting.
Yes, I think so. I think we're all in agreement that we will
Move
support
forward.
the organization, yep, in that way. Okay, if there's no more questions,
No, no.
thank you so much, Ms. Lango. I appreciate you guys, what you're doing. Yeah, good
That's
work.
good fun.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
great
yeah.
crew. They're great crew.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you all.
Yeah, all right, thank you. Look forward to hearing more in a little bit about the fundraiser and when that's gonna happen. Okay, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Moving right along, Ms. Joyce.
Yes, at the last mayor and council meeting, we were, given the authority to move forward and apply for the emergency funding of the sand filter replacement. So in front of you tonight, we have for an emergency passage measure, ordinance number 737, an ordinance of the city of Chrisfield authorizing a loan in the form of a promissory note with the Hebron Savings Bank in the principal amount of $200,000. The proceeds of which shall be used to replace the filter media in the D-Night filter banks at the wastewater treatment plant. City of Chrisfield shall pledge its full faith and credit towards the repayment of said loan. Whereas section C619 of the charter of the city authorizes the city to borrow money from time to time upon the full faith and credit and tax authority of the city of Chrisfield, as the mayor and council of the city of Chrisfield shall deem advisable, and in such manner and by such means as the mayor and council in their sound discretion shall deem most advantageous to the city of Chrisfield. Whereas the mayor and council of the city of Chrisfield determine it is desirable and in the best interest of the city and its citizens to authorize a loan in the form of a promissory note with Hebron Savings to provide financing for the purchase of blank, scratch that out,
Uh-oh, yeah, okay.
for the replacement of the D-Night filter
Is that
banks.
what's in this one, Joyce? So which means
Yes,
we can't
that's
sign
what I'm
this
reading
tonight.
from, but we'll
Yeah,
get
let
it
me see.
corrected.
Yeah,
Now therefore be it ordained and enacted by the mayor and council of the city of Chrisfield, Maryland as follows with a Y. Section 1, the mayor on behalf of the city of Chrisfield is hereby authorized to execute and deliver to Hebron Savings Bank a promissory note in the amount of $200,000 in the same or substantially similar form as the promissory note attached and incorporated as Exhibit A at the fixed interest rate of 6.75% per annum. The maturity date of the aforesaid promissory note shall be March 2031 with a 5-year term. Mayor and council hereby determine that the aforesaid promissory note and the terms thereof are reasonable and that the execution and delivery thereof is in the best interest and its citizens, and the mayor and council hereby authorizes, ratifies, confirms, and authorizes the execution and delivery of the aforesaid promissory note to Hebron Savings Bank upon the terms and conditions. The mayor is hereby authorized and directed to execute and deliver on behalf of the city of Chrisfield and any and all documents required the city of Chrisfield's execution in the ordinary course of and in connection with the completion and final settlement of the transaction contemplated by the aforesaid promissory note. Section 4, the proceeds of the $200,000 loan issued by Hebron Savings Bank to the city of Chrisfield as evidenced by the promissory note in the form attached as Exhibit A shall be used for the purpose of replacing the filter media in the D-Night filter banks at the wastewater plant. The indebtedness incurred by the city of Chrisfield by and through the aforesaid promissory note shall be valid debt and or expense of the city of Chrisfield and is consistent with and within the city of Chrisfield's municipal budget for the next fiscal year, 26-27, because we will not have any payment
right.
in this fiscal year. Capital improvement line item, and for any and all such years until the debt incurred by the aforesaid promissory note and all interest accrued thereon is paid in full and otherwise satisfied. The indebtedness of the city of Chrisfield incurred by and through the promissory note with Hebron Savings in the form attached to and incorporated as Exhibit A shall be repaid by the citizens of the city of Chrisfield through the tax revenues of the city of Chrisfield, consistent with and within the city of Chrisfield's municipal budget for the fiscal year 26-27, and for any and all such years until the indebtedness incurred by the aforesaid promissory note and all interest accrued thereon is paid in full and otherwise satisfied. Be it further ordained by the mayor and council of the city of Chrisfield as follows. It is the intention of the mayor and council that each provision of this ordinance shall be deemed independent of all other provisions. It is further the intention of the mayor and council of the city of Chrisfield that if any section, paragraph, subsection, clause, or provision of this ordinance shall be adjudged invalid, unconstitutional, or otherwise unenforceable under applicable state or federal laws, such adjudication shall apply only to the section, paragraph, subsection, clause, or provision so adjudged, and all other provisions of this ordinance shall remain valid and enforceable. The above recitals are incorporated into this section of the ordinance as it is specifically set forth at the length herein. This ordinance shall not be codified, and it shall be becomes effective on today's date, March the 11th, 2026. Having been read and passed for first and final reader on the 11th day of March, this ordinance is read, passed, enacted, ordained, and adopted as an emergency measure the 11th day of March 2026.
Right, so when we met the last time, we went over this and we got the authority to replace and repair the sand filter, which is causing us major problems at the wastewater treatment plant in terms of compliance. And that's why we were going after the funding to be able to do this. We put it into a grant, but we cannot wait for a grant to come through. And that's why we had to proceed in this way. I think we've gone through the options of what we had, and right now, this is our option to get our wastewater treatment plant going. One of the things in looking at the code, we realize is that this really should be coming from wastewater treatment plant funds when we actually look at how the budget's set up. It's not a general fund item. So when we met with our auditors, one of the things, this does not go against our debt ceiling because it's a wastewater treatment plant repair that's considered maintenance. But we do need to, this is something that we definitely have to do. We looked at our options, and in talking to MDE, I think they are definitely interested in seeing us try to do something at this particular point to help our aging wastewater treatment plant move forward. So, questions from council at this point?
So, it looks like we're higher than what we anticipated. We were
A little
at about
bit.
180, it looks like we're about 190. The
Yeah,
extra 200, because these are estimates, I'm assuming is just gonna be left in an account to, like the leftover 10,000 potentially, or
good
what's gonna
point.
happen?
Mhm.
It depends, by shipping,
Uh-huh,
that shipping is an estimate, so we had some concern about that cost as well.
Right.
okay. Yeah, I mean, it's all estimates, so it
Right.
could
Right.
be higher.
Yeah, it could be a little higher, and we just wanted a cushion.
We
You're
wanted to be
absolutely right, we
within
did a
the,
little bit,
Yeah.
to make sure we had a cushion. Because the cost was $147,000. And then if you look at what's in front of you, there's an ACE, that's the estimate from ACE. Parkson provided the estimate for the actual sand, so that was the one unknown. And the estimate that we got originally from DJ, was for $42,000, of which $12,500 is shipping. And that's, I was trying to figure out, is there any way you can get around it? But we have not been able to find out any way. I talked to Jason to see if there's anything we could do about that shipping cost, but right now he's saying no, just because of the weight of it, the sheer weight and volume of the sand, that we're gonna have to pay that. So we just know there could be some fluctuation, because it isn't considered an estimate. So that's why we did that.
Yeah, no, I don't have any problems with it.
Councilman, Vice Council?
I don't have a problem, just a question. The quote says date issued August 2025,
Right.
expires
Right.
10/31.
It's
So we
not,
don't even know it's changing
No, we
anything
have a new
else
quote.
with everything
we
else?
have a
We
newer
have a new
quote
quote.
that Jason just
Right.
got, but we're still within our
it's the same, yeah, the same
Yeah.
quote that Jason just got. We
But
have a
the,
current
the
quote.
date is newer.
Right,
The concern is the transportation of the sand
right.
in our cost. That's why we didn't lower it to these estimates, because that could rise depending on the shipping cost.
But all the other stuff same.
The dates are, the dates
I
have
mean,
been
the
updated.
29,400
Yes,
same,
it's the
same.
same. It is the exact same quote.
Just the shipping, it depends.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be, yeah, it could be a little more. We just don't know. But yes, Jason did reach back out to the same company because DJ had gotten this quote earlier last year. Jason reached out to the same company. They provided pretty much the same quote, but still let us know it's a quote. So it could vary a little bit. But
And we
yes,
had to
do have more
provide,
recently.
some documentation for the bank, so, we had something that was, relative to what we were asking for.
Any more questions? Councilman Langford, you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, all right. Can we get a motion?
Mayor, can I
Oh,
just proceed?
sure.
We've got two things to do.
Oh, absolutely. Help me.
Could we first go back to the first page of the ordinance?
Oh, the correction.
Yeah, we gotta do a motion to amend.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we need a motion to amend this to say, instead of, if you look at the second whereas paragraph, at the last sentence, it says to provide financing for the purchase of 2 vehicles. that needs to be corrected to say, to provide financing for
Filter media.
filter,
Pull from
sand
the top.
filter media,
The filter media and the D-Night filter banks.
filter media, and D-Night
Filter banks.
filter banks, okay. So that's the first motion that we need,
So we need a
Andrew?
motion to amend, then
Okay.
vote on the amendment.
Okay,
And then because it's gonna be an emergency, it needs two votes to deem it, it needs a vote to deem it an emergency.
okay,
No,
And then there's the final vote to pass.
okay.
Tonight,
no, just second question, because I did notice this and what the mayor said, I think this contradicts it. So in section 5, it says that shall be repaid to the citizens of the city of Chrisfield through tax revenues of the city of Chrisfield. Does that need to be different?
Should probably be water sewer, because that's really where
'Cause it
this
should be,
comes from.
yeah, especially if we're not trying to put that against our debt ceiling.
Because it is a water sewer,
it is a water
Sewer
sewer
debt.
expense,
Mhm.
however, your taxes covers your borrowing, so. Can you do what paragraph was that, Casey?
Section 5.
Sex.
5, can you do, tax revenue / water sewer? Because I think there is a section in there about borrowing money,
tell me,
or, is that allowed, Andrew?
That's where the money's gonna come from. Ultimately,
It's gonna be a debt line item on the budget
right,
for the expense.
did PKS see the right ordinance beforehand? So if they provide the guidance, then I'm satisfied with it because they're gonna classify it the way they need to classify it.
but I don't know that we asked them that specifically. I think it's a good question, because based on, I said that based on our conversation that we had with, PKS, which is our auditors, for those who don't know. And they were saying that the wastewater treatment, things that go against wastewater treatment plants are not part of the general fund debt ceiling.
Because you're
So,
not gonna issue a special tax for this.
right, absolutely, so, but Joyce, you're thinking that the word taxes have to be in here because of our, our
For the
our
borrowing
borrowing.
guidelines.
Our borrowing guidelines, so I think we need to resolve that, maybe, even though it's an emergency, if you guys are willing to, I think we can wait, we can reach out to PKS, we can reach out to make sure that it does, it is classified correctly in this document, and then we just reach back out to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to have an emergency meeting to
Yeah.
get this done and tied away, because we need to get this done, but I just wanna make
In
sure
the-
we don't.
In the
run
debt
against the debt
policy, if you consider this a short-term note, which 5 years is, the city may authorize short-term notes to meet expenses incurred in the operation of the city government, pledge its full faith and credit as security for these notes. So it's gonna have to be tax and probably water and sewer. But as Andrew said, it depends on where they, because we won't have any principal payment until the following year, 27.
I wasn't sure I understood what you just read, Joyce, so back that up
Short-term notes
again.
for operations, the city council may authorize short-term notes to meet expenses incurred in the operation of the city government. The city shall pledge its full faith and credit as security for these notes. So
But it
that
doesn't
would just
say
about
where-
cover taxes and water and sewer, no
So it
matter
could be
how.
either one, right, but we wanna understand what it's going against. So I would prefer if we have a conversation tomorrow with PKS to just see what their recommendation is for what it should say.
Right.
And then,
What we're saying here is tax revenue, so. Trying to understand.
well, the water
This-
sewer is not tax revenue.
Right, but I'm just saying, in this paragraph, it
It says,
says
it
that we're
says,
saying
it says
tax
tax
revenue.
Says
revenue,
tax
which would be like our property taxes.
Right.
If we aren't instituting a front footage fee for this specific loan, it is coming from the operational revenue from the water and sewer buildings.
So it should say that.
Is that what you're,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what we're saying.
okay, yeah. We'll call, PKS tomorrow and see where they will classify it.
And then we may call on you guys,
Yeah.
Emergencies and-
yes, emergencies
That's
to do
fine.
that, yeah, to make sure, I agree, I definitely wanna
And
make
then
sure.
we'll make the other correction as well, changing the cars, so we don't have to make any amendments tonight, right?
So, yeah, since we're not gonna do it tonight, can we just do it all
Yeah,
at the
make the
next meeting?
changes.
So
Make the changes and then the document will be correct.
we have two options on this.
Okay.
You still wanna do an emergency, because even if you wait a week to do the next meeting,
Uh-huh,
the emergency still suspends the 20-day effective requirement, because you want you want this to be able to be purchased right away. So I think it's still an emergency, it can be reintroduced at the special meeting or the mayor and council meeting, and then everything can be cleaned up,
Got you.
and that can be,
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
this can be now it's how it'll be addressed.
And that makes sense. So what you're basically just saying is tonight, at least vote to make it an emergency. So then we don't have to do that again? Is that what you're saying? No?
Just
No,
sort
he's
of-
saying wait.
I think let's just wait and put it all together, because it might be cleaner just to reintroduce it, rather than having multiple amendments through the process. Because you're gonna at least have the one amendment in the front end, possibly a second amendment, and then when you have the special meeting, you'll just vote on whatever gets read that day.
Okay, all right.
Otherwise, this becomes an introductory reading, tonight's the first reading, and then it can be a second reading later.
But that would have been 20 days. We don't want to wait that
You don't
long.
wanna wait 20
We don't want
days,
to wait
so
20
it's-
days. We need it to be an emergency.
Yeah.
We need to be able to get the order.
Yeah, we need it to be an emergency, so my thing is within the next 2 days. So if we don't do it tomorrow, we would want to do it by Friday.
Because
So,
the bank's gonna want a clean version at the end of the day,
Right.
without a bunch of edits, and knowing where the
Right.
revenue's coming from to reimburse.
absolutely.
So I think
Mhm.
maybe just reintroducing the whole thing
Okay,
in special meeting, the public's at least on notice, this is what the city's going with,
absolutely.
and I think that's probably the cleanest
Okay.
way going forward.
And you're saying just vote to make it, vote to accept the ordinance and to make it an emergency? at the
All
next
of the
meeting.
special meeting, once PKS clarifies, Councilmember
What this
Goldberg's
should say,
question.
yeah,
Yes.
what this should say, yeah, okay, and that makes sense. Yep, thank you.
Got it, we'll take care of that tomorrow.
Okay, that works?
Yeah, that works.
Yep, thank you, okay. All right, guys, so we're gonna put this on hold until either Thursday or Friday when we make that clarification. Yep, thank you. All right, so now I just want to talk about something that's happening that I thought was really, really good. I'm really excited about this, and both Jennifer and LaFabian are actually helping with this. Former Councilwoman Charlotte Scott had called me one day with something that God had put on her heart, which was something that kind of lined up with something I was interested in. And it was about how we kind of present to the public, to investors, to tourists, all the good things that are happening in our community. So she's come up with the idea of creating a project map that shows all the investment that's planned for our community and being able to provide that so that folks would have a good idea of things that were going on in our community. And I'm really excited that she actually is volunteering her time to lead that project. It's her vision. And then LaFabian and Jennifer have both been supporting her and getting the details of the projects that are actually happening in our community. And then Jennifer was able to coordinate with the Eastern Shore Regional GIS, who's actually going to produce the map for us. We're really excited about that. So it's not costing the city any money. We are really happy about that. And Eastern Shore Regional GIS, Mary Buffington, has helped us out quite a bit in the past. So they're going to come at the next council meeting and they will talk about what it is they've come up with. Council will get an opportunity to look at it. Maybe there's other things that we've missed. I was riding around the other day and I realized, oh, we didn't put the school on there. And they're doing a lot of work over there as far as rehabbing the school. They're putting millions of dollars into that. That's an investment that's being made right here in Chrisfield. So it was interesting to see kind of how that's going to play out. But I think everyone would be pleasantly surprised at the investment that's actually happening in our town. There's a lot. Should it all come together? There's a lot planned anyway. And so you see that little square over there? Is that what it turned out to be, LaFabian?
Well, that's the size that the largest map we can have.
Really?
Free.
Okay.
Free though, so, but
Free is
I'm thinking
important.
we're gonna turn it the long way. So
Okay.
That's why, but we're gonna turn it the long way.
Okay.
And it'll probably be up higher and we'll move the handsome and beautiful pictures and move them somewhere else in here.
Oh, maybe just to the sides, but okay, all right, fantastic. So that would be the wall size map that they would produce for us, but they're producing handouts that we could, like 8.5 by 11 size paper that you could actually see. Okay, all these projects are happening in Chrisfield, here's where they're happening. And here's the investment that's actually being made. And I think it's going to be extremely significant. So I'm excited to have them come and talk to us at the next meeting.
Maybe a tripod brochure?
Yeah, well, you guys get to suggest whatever you think. They're just gonna give the idea and where they are and getting all the details together, so. And you guys will be able to make whatever suggestions you like to.
Will this be just a new projects or new investments or also
Current
the
one?
current ones?
Yes, it'll be all of it, Everything, you're right, planned investment meaning whether or not it's funded, but it's all planned. Whether we're currently working on it or if it's for the future. Okay, any questions? Questions? Councilman Langford, questions?
No, no question.
Okay, fantastic. So we got them scheduled for the next council meeting, both Charlotte and Mary Buffington. Were you able to reach her?
I, very probably, she will be here.
Okay, all right. So hopefully Eastern Shore Regional GIS will be here too. They've been phenomenal in their help. Okay, fantastic. So keeping going through some things that are actually occurring, I wanted to talk about House Bill 1142. Because this came about while I was, just before I went to the MML meeting. And so in collaboration with, came to me from Pocomoke and Princess Anne, and we got together to support this. So I want you guys to know what we're actually supporting. So we are supporting House Bill 1142 for this reason. Here's what it's for. It's to, if you guys have heard me talk a lot about what our big issue is right now, we need, in the terms of revenue. So this is about creating revenue. So this is what the House bill says. It's to establish a task force to modernize county and municipal revenue structures, to study and evaluate the revenue structure of the county and municipal governments within the state, and requiring the task force to submit a report of its findings and recommendations to the governor and certain committees of the General Assembly by December 1st, 2026. So if you guys know, what we do is we just don't have money. There's no question. So what this task force will do is they'll study and evaluate the current revenue structures available to each of the county and municipal governments. They'll look at what are some optional revenue sources not currently used by county and government. They'll look at what's the authority of municipal governments to raise revenue from additional sources, and they're going to look at what revenue sources other states utilize that we may not be utilizing today. And then they'll make recommendations regarding what we should do about that. So we collectively on the Eastern Shore have submitted support for this actual House bill. We did written testimony for the House bill, and then we will see where it goes as far as the Senate. But this is really important from our perspective for this to go through, so that we can look at where are some ways that we can get some additional revenue.
Is this a House bill passed?
It hasn't passed yet, no. We submitted testimony to it.
And it's the Tri-County?
We submitted, we did a joint letter with Pocomoke and Princess Anne saying we are in support of this bill.
But is it, it's a statewide bill?
Yes,
Right.
yes, it would affect the entire state.
But the task force would work on the entire state, or work on is it an individual task force that does?
No, it would be, a task force would be 2 members of the Senate, 2 members of the House of Delegates, the comptroller, Secretary of Budget and Management, and the Director of Assessment and Taxation, as well as 2 representatives from the Maryland Municipal League, the MML, that we attend. So they will be designated by chief officer. So that group would look at it across all counties in Maryland
Okay.
and municipalities in Maryland would
So
all be
it'd be
affected.
a fair task force, in other words, what I'm saying, somebody that's on the Eastern Shore as well as Western Shore.
Yes, it's gonna include, well, I mean, I don't know who the 2
Right.
MML designees will be.
Right.
But currently, the president of the MML is Todd Knott, Mayor Knott from
Oh, okay.
Pocomoke. So he's very
yeah.
interested in this bill, and I believe
Okay.
he's gonna do everything he can to
Well, that's
be a participant.
That's Eastern Shore representation, knowing
Absolutely.
that somebody's gonna be on that committee.
But that's a good point, and that's one of the things that we said in the letter, is that we know that our revenue structures may not be the same as revenue structures across the bridge.
Yeah, we hear it all the time.
Right, so we want to make sure that they are considering the Eastern Shore, and that's what the letter says. So I will send you guys all a copy of the letter so that you do have it, but it's very generic, and it basically just talks about the fact that communities on the Eastern Shore, on the lower Eastern Shore, the current structures limit the current structural limitations are particularly acute. So our rural municipalities often operate with a narrow tax base, limited commercial density, and constrained flexibility in revenue generation. We just don't have that capacity. So what we're looking for here is some help. What are some revenue structures that can be created that can help us to get money? Right now, I think you guys all know that the way we get money here is through our tax base, our property taxes, and we're always not trying to raise, we're never trying to raise those. The money that we get from our water sewer bill is supposed to take care of our wastewater treatment plant and our water sewer, it just doesn't. And as you guys probably saw in the more recent audits, we're just not charging what we need to charge for our aging infrastructure. And so what we're doing here is we're looking for other ways to upgrade the infrastructure so that we can get in a better place, and hopefully at some point the wastewater treatment plant could pay for itself. So I just wanted you guys to be aware that that House bill is out there, and that I may come back to you guys for testimony. It moves forward from here and it goes into the Senate. So this is a big deal for us.
You sure you'll send that to us?
I'll send you guys, well, yeah, I'm gonna send you a copy of the House bill as well as a copy of the letter.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly will. Okey-doke.
Thank you.
Any questions, anybody, on that?
No, ma'am.
Let's hope it goes through. Absolutely. So the next couple of things are just scheduling things that I need from you guys. So we had talked about the wastewater treatment plant over and over again. We're looking at what are our options. Are we gonna, we're gonna put out a request for proposal to see if someone can come in and do O&M and help us in that way. We're also gonna look at, well, should we sell it? Is that the better way to go? And there is a company that actually has done that in other places. And so they're gonna come out for a public information session. So you guys can hear what that's all about and ask questions and all that. So it would be a public information session. So we need to schedule when we would like them to come in. So they're available. I mean, if we want to do it in April, they can come, the first one, which is April the 8th, or the second one, which is April the 22nd. And we're looking at a 5 o'clock meeting versus having them come in and try to do that during the whole meeting. So any preference on the date, the April the 8th or April the 22nd?
That either works for me.
Either of them?
Yeah. I will say, just a side note of this, we should probably invite the county sanitary district, the head of them, the Josh gentleman, just because this is going to affect their customers
Sure,
as well.
absolutely.
They can have the questions.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we can issue that invitation. Yep, absolutely. So does anybody have a preference, the 8th or the 22nd? Because I'm thinking the sooner the better. I mean, rather than drag it out. So if everyone works for the 8th,
You got two work sessions on here, you're requesting.
right. But that one would be the 8th.
And the 8th's fine with me.
It's not gonna be early meeting, is it?
5 o'clock. No, it would be at 5 o'clock. So which of those is better?
22nd.
Is better for you?
Next critical area is on 8th, and
Okay.
that's in person.
Okay, so you won't, but yeah, you'd be on the road. Okay, so
Or I
let's,
can be on a phone.
no,
also.
let's try to, we can move it. I mean, Councilman Langford, did you have a preference?
No, I don't have a preference, just let me know.
So if it works for everybody else, then we'll take the 22nd. There's no reason not to. Okay? All right, so that would be for the American Water. I'll reach out to them. They said they were available whenever we needed them. And so we'll shoot for a 5 o'clock work session where we're inviting the entire public, and we'll do a special invitation for the sanitary district to be here as well. And they can ask questions too. We're encouraging citizens to come out and ask questions, because if that's an avenue that we take, it would have a major impact on our city. So definitely encouraging everyone to come out. The second one that I had was the debt ceiling work session that we said we would definitely do, based on kind of where we are. And I got a preliminary conversation with them to have a good understanding of where we are. The issue is, it turns out, is not gonna be our debt ceiling, it's revenue. It's just what we need to be able to bring in. But I think we're in good shape with our debt ceiling, but, PKS, what's his name, Andrew? Andy is willing to come, and he's gonna do a work session, so all you guys can kind of see what we have and how that, plays out. So, he's willing to come at 5 o'clock on the 25th. Is that what we said, Joyce? If you guys are available, our next next council meeting is the 25th at 6, but he's willing to come for a public meeting at 5 o'clock. And so the public's invited if they're interested in sitting in or listening in. So it's a work session,
Yeah.
5 o'clock on the 25th. Does that work for you guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Everybody's good? Councilman Langford, you good?
5 o'clock on the 25th, I'm.
Yes, that's the only work session.
Okay.
Okey doke, and then, so we're moving right along here. I don't even have my phone out, so how we doing? We're not doing bad. Okay, Police Accountability Board Award. Chief,
We'll make an announcement.
you come up. Yep.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So, March 19th, 2 o'clock, we will be honoring Sergeant Hoover of the Crisfield Police Department with the Somerset County Officer of the Year. This is the nomination I made a couple months ago. I believe it's our first officer from Crisfield to be nominated for this award, and I could go all night and tell you how much a wonderful officer that Mark Hoover is for us, but the press is gonna be there, other department heads will be there, and I would really like it if he had as much Crisfield representation as possible. We will all be there.
Princess Anne?
I'm sorry?
Princess Anne?
Yes, the Somerset County Office Building, March 19th, 2 o'clock. I forget the address, but it's in that text. I can resend that text to you.
I have a letter here. They actually sent us a letter.
They did?
Yeah,
Is that
it's
from
the
Marty? Or the
It just says, it's the Somerset County Police Accountability Board.
Awesome.
Yes, and they basically just said they would like to recognize all of Sergeant Hoover's efforts in awarding him the Somerset County Police Accountability Board Law Enforcement Officer of the Year Award. So, and they said the ceremony would be, when you said, which will be March 19th at 2 p.m.
At 2 p.m.
And they plan on inviting citizens, the county commissioners, the state's attorney, and the news media. So they said they'd informed you, chief, and they're also requesting our attendance as well as the city council members who are available to attend. So if you guys are able to make it, please try to make it. It's a big deal. And thank you, chief, for nominating him.
I guess I don't have an excuse to miss this.
It's gonna be right where you are, absolutely.
And I'll go, at the ceremony, I'll go into a little bit more about Sergeant Hoover, because I could go all night about him. But he is just, it's coming up on my 30th year in law enforcement, getting close to it. And he's one of the best police officers I've been around. We're very lucky to have him. I was honored just to nominate him, and just the amount of work he does in Crisfield, not just on the arrest, the enforcement side, but the community service. It's hard to match. So this is well deserving of Mark Hoover.
Fantastic. We're definitely excited to have him be honored this way. So thank you. Yep, thank you, guys. Okay. We are really, really getting down, so this is good. Okay. At this point, we have an opportunity for public input. We have visitors, and if you guys have anything that you'd like to say, now's your time. I always have to be careful when I do that, don't I? Tell them who you are, Mr. Freeman.
George Freeland. We brought up at one of the last meetings I was here about the pumps over, I think, on Cove Street that's run up 3 times, is it, over the last few years? And from what I understand, they were gonna put a grinder or something to prevent from this pump burning up. So is there any progress in putting that grinder in there, or acquiring one, so it doesn't keep burning up?
And I apologize, because we don't normally respond to those, but unfortunately, DJ's not here, but I think what you're referring to is that we will have a new pumping station, and the new one will have a grinder on it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's
what, 'cause I was
yes, and that's in
concerned.
work. That's gonna be a
I
while.
wanted it to keep burning up.
Yeah, and actually, it's a lot of waste people are putting in things they shouldn't be putting in, and that's what's tearing it up.
Disposable towels that aren't
Right,
disposable.
yes, all the disposable things that are not really disposable, you're exactly right. And so what's happening is, the
That
newer,
was my concern there.
the newer brand, the newer model that will get put in will have a grinder that will help that. It won't completely eliminate it,
Yeah.
but it will be better, so,
Okay.
just for your
Okay.
information. And we are working on that, but it's part of the longer term project, just for your information.
Huh.
Yeah, it's
I
part of
talked to
replacing the pump. I'm
Jason-
sorry.
Oh, I talked to Jason today, and he said the construction company is mobilizing.
Yeah, for a rubber set. Right, yeah, represent first, and unfortunately, and then the Cove Street one will be next. Absolutely, thank you. Thank you, George. Any other public? Okay, all right. So then we have our no youth council tonight either. Yeah, we gotta figure out where our youth are. I know they're really busy. School was out for a long time, so I guess they're making up for all the days they've missed. But now we'll go through and we're gonna do our council comments. And we're gonna start up there with you tonight, Councilman Langford.
I don't have much. I just want to say to the chief, as part of the police accountability board, it was great being in the room when everybody voted for Sergeant Hoover. It was a unanimous vote.
Wonderful.
And I will definitely be there to, give him my support and everything. And that's pretty much all I have. Thank you for the neighborhood watch update. I'm anxious to see how that goes, and like I said, if I can be of any assistance to you, please let me know. And other than that, thank you.
Fantastic, thank you, Councilman Langford. Councilman Patel.
Yeah, just so everybody knows, please, if you have any questions about wastewater treatment plant coming on April 22nd, 5 p.m. Because once, and if you have questions, once we get answers or whatever from the American Water Works, and then it will be really short time before probably something gets decided. So if you have questions, please show up that day. We do not answer Facebook questions. Please show up in person. That's it.
You are encouraged, absolutely. Thank you, Councilman Patel, absolutely. Okay, all right, Vice Council Banks.
Just kudos, thanks to all our department heads and our staff of City of Chrisfield, Andrew, he's the director, Public Safety, Chief. Just thank you, Mayor, thank those at this table, and of course, Councilman Langford and Councilman Johnson, who's absent. So just thank everybody for what we're doing, and it's been a good 3.5 years under the administration of Mayor Taylor. I think we can all see it. She's done a phenomenal job. Where we can show here in black and white the achievements that have been done since she's been mayor, and of course working and leading us as a council. So I just want to thank everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Council. Councilman?
Gonna keep it short too. Sorry for holding this meeting up, especially when we were talking about the loan borrowing. But we just want to be clear on behalf of the city council. We never want tax dollars to pay for anything water and sewer related.
Absolutely.
That's significant,
That's right.
it's important. As long as we own that water and sewer plant, water and sewer needs to pay for itself at the end of the day. The second part of that, I think they are calling for a little bit of snow next week. Even though it's beautiful.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Let's hope we have good fortune and good weather coming our way. That's it for me.
Snow is better than electricity.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take the snow over power outages any day. But thank you guys, and I want to thank everybody, again, the same, for everything that they do, and the community especially. I know that the Neighborhood Watch is a volunteer branch, Charlotte's volunteering. I had someone else to call me. They're working on a project. I've asked them to come and tell us about it soon, because this is the community doing things. And when the community does things, it means we don't have to. And that's the best way to get it done, though, because you got to have your own investment. So I thank you guys for, willing to give your time and energy to try to make the community better. That's one thing. We have a lot of folks who will complain about it, but will they step up when it comes time? And I want to thank you guys for stepping up, because that's really, really important. Miss Winnie, I don't know how many of you made it out to her show. Miss Winnie had her grand opening over here, and I missed it. It was Saturday from 3 to 5 p.m., and I couldn't be there, so I am asking her to come back out. I did talk to her, is her daughter-in-law, Michelle?
Yes.
It's her daughter-in-law.
Yes.
Yeah, Michelle Pruitt, and she said she had more than 100 people. So if you guys don't know Miss Winnie, she is a fabulous lady. I think she's in her 80s, but she has an amazing art show that she does and crafts and things that she does, and she had those on display here. And I really wanted to be there, but I wasn't able to be there. But she has pencils, oil, watercolors, ink, photography, clay, woodworking, and a lot more. It's fantastic. They say you walk in her house and it's just a whole like museum kind of thing. Absolutely. So the show is here, and it's going to be here until let me see. Oh, the 7th through the 28th. So I'm not sure what days it's open, but whenever it should be on display here at the Corbin Library. I want the public to know. I'm going to get her back out here, and we want to encourage Miss Winnie to keep doing her art. This is the Arts and Entertainment District. So definitely reach out to her if you're able. Just a reminder, we do have a group that is interested in doing the garden again until we can find money to do anything else with it. So we're gonna be trying to whip that into shape so that maybe they can plant some flowers or something, I don't know. But keep it, yeah, it's getting, I'm gonna ask I'm asking Public Works to trim it up for us so it looks good. And then just FYI, I mentioned to you guys last time that we were gonna have a debrief at the Housing Authority on the power outage. And we did do that. We did get a few residents to come out, and we talked about some things that we need to do in the future. And so there's a lot of things that they're gonna look into. A lot of them are really communication type things. But we did have some folks who had some issues with just being able to know what was going on. We're looking into the issue with generators, and who actually came? It wasn't
Hoover and Bonnie.
to our debrief. They worked, I think, the outage, but I don't think they were at the debrief. It wasn't, who was that?
It was Sergeant Hoover. He was there because I asked him to update me.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
okay, yep. And so I appreciate him being there because he had some ideas about the generators and
Yeah.
things as well. So definitely appreciate him being there. But I think a big thing is creating a group text that they have for the Housing Authority, making sure they have their tenant association. And they're gonna create a priority list. So we need to know who's there. You know, who are the elderly that we need to get to right away if there's an issue? Who are the disabled that we need to make sure they're taken care of? So they were very appreciative, Chief, of the police who came and checked on them during the power outage. All the residents were really appreciative of that. And that goes a long way. So we talked to them, a lot of them lost food, you know, and so we talked to them about trying to get through Delmarva Power. Joyce had showed me that there's something out there Delmarva Power will do. The interesting part about it is, though, you have to have your own account. And so because they're all falling under a housing authority, the director's gonna check into how they can apply for that process, since they don't have individual accounts. But it was a very good meeting, and so I just want you guys to know that we are following up just to make sure we can do better in the future, should anything like that occur. And then just a heads up, I had a great conversation with Eddie Summers, with Smith Island United. They're looking into some opportunities to increase, the traffic that goes back and forth and how we can all participate in that. So it's more just a collaboration, a beginning of conversation. They're looking at some things. And so I don't know how much he's done with that yet, but I know he's gonna be looking for letters of support. And I put him in touch with GCAC and some other folks to support their efforts. I think they're looking at a grant that would help them increase the amount of traffic that goes back and forth between here and Smith Island. So definitely supportive of whatever it is they need to do over there. Okay, and then finally, is this the last one? Yep, I think finally, the Citizens Academy. I will do a presentation on that the next time. If you guys remember, this is the 250th anniversary of the country. And so Maryland has a Maryland 250 celebration. They're gonna give us $1,000 so we can do a Citizens Academy. And Ms. LaFabian is gonna help me put that whole thing together. We're gonna be looking for anywhere from 10 to 15 citizens, including young people, to sign up for the Citizens Academy. And you're gonna learn all about local government in terms of what every department does, and figure out ways that you can become more involved in city government or run for elected office. You can be me. So, absolutely. So we're gonna put that out there very soon. It'll probably be like 6 sessions, I think is what we put in the grant, so that each department could talk to folks about it. But you have to commit. And so we're looking for 10 to 15 citizens who are interested in participating in a Citizens Academy that we're putting together. And so with that, I also want to give my condolences to the Jurl family, Janice Jurl, who passed away recently. Yeah, I know that her service is gonna be coming up soon. And so definitely, it's a hard time for a lot of folks right now. Anyway, a lot of death in our community. So please keep everyone in prayer. And other than that, I really want to thank everybody for everything that you guys are doing. You are phenomenal support, and I thank you for everything. I see Miss Tiffany, who comes in and does all our technical support. I want to thank you for that. That means a lot to be able to get us on Facebook when we're supposed to be and get all our guys in on Zoom and all of that. So putting everything together. And Andrew, you know, I'll call you all the time, so I thank you for answering your phone still. But I definitely appreciate everything that you guys are doing. I'm hearing a lot of good things, and I am definitely appreciative. So, yeah, I see you sitting back there, Peter. I didn't put you on a hot seat this time either, so. So, again, thank you guys. I'm just looking around. I don't want to leave out anybody, but something you want to say?
Yep,
Go ahead.
22nd, can we get that room ready just in case so many people shows up?
Oh, yeah, sure, absolutely. You mean in case they come in? Yeah, and they should. I mean, I hope we'll need it. Absolutely. I hope we'll need that extra space. Because for me, it's all about having information. You can't, I mean, you just gotta have the information. I've been accused a lot of too much information, okay? So it's all everything. But the reality of it is, I don't believe you can make informed decisions unless you have all the information. And so I'm gonna give it to you. Good, bad, whatever it happens to be, you're gonna get it. So you understand where we are and how we're coming to the decisions we are. So again, I love you guys, I appreciate you, and I thank you. And with that,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
that didn't even wait for me to say she's not here. All in favor? Enjoy the rest of your night.